the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Tosin Fakile in for Mark Hall. We're going to kick things off talking about your weather. Let's take a live look outside on this sunny Tuesday. Look at that right there. We're looking at the Capitol, and the good news is we are happy to see the sun. The not so great news is it feels a little more like winter weather out there. Meteorologist Damon Matson, tell us what exactly is going on.
Yeah, that view, Tosin, looks great from inside this warm studio, right? But if you step out there, oh my goodness, you are feeling the bite in the air once again. Some very cold air has rolled across the DMV, and that all came in on the back of these very gusty northwest winds that are continuing as we head into the afternoon, and will be a big reason why we don't warm up much at all. Check it out. We have wind gusts right now reaching up above 30 miles an hour in Martinsburg, Hagerstown, Leesburg, and DC. Even just had a gust of 36 miles per hour. How about Lexington Park as well? Just briefly hitting 40 miles per hour. These are the kind of gusty winds we can expect, and so our temperatures will stay in the 30s and 40s. And with that being the case, there's a wind chill factor out there this afternoon, folks. We haven't dealt with this in a little while with how warm it's been, but that wind chill, especially north and west of DC, is going to stay in the 30s, perhaps even the upper 20s. So be ready to bundle up if you do step outside this afternoon. Here we have it. We'll have that good bit of sunshine mixed between a few clouds, but we're not going to see much of a warm up at all. High temperatures by later this afternoon. We'll be lucky to get back to the upper 40s. And that sets us up then for tonight, as we are expecting temperatures to drop well below freezing. So is there a major concern for a widespread frost freeze across the area? And when are we going to see these temperatures rebounding once again? We'll have your full forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. We'll talk to you soon. 12:02 in Maryland. Police are now calling a Waldorf woman's disappearance last month suspicious. She went missing at the end of March. DC News Now's Candace Cole is in the studio with the latest developments in this case.
The search continues for 23-year-old Lesbia Milith Ramirez Guerra, who was reported missing by her boyfriend on April 2nd. Now, according to the Charles County Sheriff's Office, Guerra was last seen at her home on Adams Court, where she lives with her boyfriend, their 2 kids, and several others on March 31st. Detectives investigating her disappearance now suspect foul play after finding, quote, unusual and suspicious activity at Guerra's home the day after she was last seen. They also believe the family's red Toyota 4Runner, which was located at their home, could also be involved. During a search of Guerra's home, detectives contacted ICE after finding fake immigration papers for Guerra's boyfriend. He has since been taken into custody. Anyone with information about Guerra's whereabouts is asked to contact the Charles County Sheriff's Office. You can do so anonymously at the number on your screen. In the studio, Candace Cole, DC News Now.
And DC News Now's Randy Bass is following the story for us tonight. She'll have a report starting at 4 p.m. The Supreme Court is weighing in on a Maryland man mistakenly deported to El Salvador. Chief Justice John Roberts paused the lower court's deadline for the U.S. to bring Quilma Abrego Garcia home. The Trump administration admits he was deported because of an administrative error. Now, a prior appellate court ruling says Abrego Garcia has never been charged with a crime here or abroad, but the Trump administration pushing the Supreme Court to step in with an emergency appeal. They argue the courts cannot force the executive branch to work with Salvadorian officials to bring him home. This morning, AG Pam Bondi spoke outside the White House, saying he should stay where he is.
So that's what these gangs do. They infiltrate our country and they live among us. So to say that he was training to be an electrician does not legitimize him from being a violent gang member. And we will continue to fight for the safety of Americans and get these people out of our country to make America safe. Every victim of crime deserves to be safe. And these families who have lost loved ones to these, they are foreign adversaries, they are terrorists, and they are living among us no longer. And especially after that ruling yesterday, they better start self-deporting because we're coming after them.
Abrego Garcia's attorney says there is no evidence he was in MS-13 or any gang. They also write in a statement, quote, "This is just a temporary administrative stay. We have full confidence the Supreme Court will resolve this matter as quickly as possible." New high court responses in the case are expected later today. Some scary moments at an elementary school in Spotsylvania County. A gun went off in a third grade classroom at Lee Hill Elementary School yesterday morning. The sheriff's office says a third grade student was reaching into his backpack and accidentally pulled the trigger on a loaded gun. The teacher quickly evacuated the classroom. One parent is glad all the kids are safe, but says she's confused how a gun ended up in a child's backpack.
It's a huge relief, but also, it's a very scary situation. I don't understand, if you have small children in the house, why they would have access to such a weapon, and that it was loaded and that it went to school.
The county sheriff's office is speaking with the child who had the gun and his family. They say he did not intend to hurt anyone. And developing overnight out of Virginia, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Groveton. It happened on John Paul Drive. Fairfax County police believe two men were involved in a fight. They say the one who died was shot multiple times. Officers say the other man had stab wounds and was taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. Investigators are asking anyone with information to contact them. A jury found a D.C. man guilty of aggravated assault after shooting a groundskeeper because of a dispute over leaf blowing in March 2020. D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office says Lawrence Murphy was upset the victim was blowing the leaves towards his house in Northeast. They say Murphy shot the victim, injuring his wrist. His sentencing is set for June 9th. And the financial markets, they're trying to recover as they tumbled after President Trump's new tariffs. More than $5 trillion has been lost in the markets in just the past week. The tariffs impacted retirement accounts and is threatening increased prices for goods. Yesterday, a rumor of a 90-day delay on tariffs spread across social media, causing the markets to rebound. The White House confirmed there will be no delay, and the markets reacted. All this talk of tariffs is troubling for economists.
Go back to the great financial crisis in 2008. A lot of economists are thinking this might be one of those long time to recover kind of things. It'll take a long time to shift to a manufacturing economy again. In a few months, I would expect to see the unemployment rate ticking up to 5%, perhaps, maybe even 6% if things get really bad.
The Trump administration says the tariffs will help bring manufacturing back to America. Trump is also welcoming other countries to make deals with the United States. And China says they'll fight against those tariffs, this coming as Trump took to Truth Social to threaten an additional 50% tariff on Chinese exports. China calls the escalation a mistake, saying they will never accept it. Those tariffs are expected to go into effect tomorrow. In some health news, concern about the deadly measles outbreak is growing. 3 people, including 2 children, have died since the outbreak started earlier this year in West Texas. There are now outbreaks in New Mexico, Ohio, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And in just 4 months, the U.S. has doubled the total number of measles cases from last year. Texas has the majority of those cases, sitting at nearly 500. Measles cases have also been reported in Maryland, and one person with the disease traveled through the district. And as the outbreak grows, the head of Health and Human Services, Robert Kennedy Jr., went to the epicenter of the outbreak on Sunday, saying the administration is working to control the fast-spreading disease. He also posted on social media promising to bolster federal support in states like Texas, but Kennedy has historically criticized vaccinations, and health experts say the secretary needs to do more to promote vaccinations. And for more updates on measles cases in our area, head to our website, dcnewsnow.com. A global celebration for Caps superstar Alex Ovechkin, as he has now broken the NHL's record of all-time goals. Fans were buzzing in the DMV and in his hometown of Moscow, Russia, as Ovi got his 895th career goal Sunday against the New York Islanders. The Caps opening up a special store to help honor the Great Eight, the team converting their overtime shop into an Ovi store with merch commemorating the record breaking. And it had its grand opening yesterday and will be open for the last 2 Caps home games of the season. At the store, you can find your typical items along with specialized pucks and hockey sticks. Fans say they're excited to get their hands on this merch.
Thought it was necessary to have an entire space available for our fans to shop, all things 895.
We're just glad that they're open. Yeah, we're probably going to spend like a few $100 like in a couple of minutes here, actually. Yeah. So.
The Caps will be back playing at home Thursday night, honoring Ovi at that game. Exactly how they'll do so is unknown. Puck drop is at 7:30 at Capital One Arena.